Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fourth episode of the Combo Podcast. I have a guest for you again. My co-host is still lost. I'm not sure where. If you're hearing this, please contact me. Right. If you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey, this is Brian. I'm from the United States, as you can probably tell by my differing accent.
Oi. American.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, just your stereotypical living in the Midwest American here.
So, you play games a lot?
Yeah.
PC,
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, I'm a big-time PC gamer. Lately I've been playing some Grand Theft Auto 5, some City Skylines, picked up Prison Architect on the sale pretty recently, been experimenting with that a little bit.
Anything else you've been playing recently?
In the past few weeks, I haven't had a chance to play it recently, just it takes a little more time to set up. I've been playing
I guess
Elite
since
Dangerous.
It's the first time you're here, you can talk about other games as well. All right,
Yeah.
GTA 5 we've praised a lot here. I'm assuming you love it, because who doesn't?
Absolutely, yeah. I hate to admit that I played it on the PS3 first.
Ew.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
We won't talk about that ever again. But no, on the PC, it's just so much better. I mean, the improved frame rate and graphics, are obviously the first thing that you'll notice, especially if you've played it on a console first. It's such an incredible game, especially in the GTA series. I've been playing Grand Theft Auto since, the very first one in, what was that, 1995, 1996?
Yeah. Was it bird's eye view and all that?
Yeah,
So
the top-down view with, sprites. That was the game that introduced me to modding even. I remember making my own cars. You could just edit the sprites in Microsoft Paint. It was pretty slick, but ever since then, I just can't believe where the series has gone. From the top-down view to full 3D with, Grand Theft Auto 3, and, GTA 5 has just really, put the icing on the cake as far as, just the different things you can do, the craziness of the characters, especially, I really like Trevor. Just, I feel like he really fits the GTA main character.
Yeah. One thing is that it's not just the game got bigger in the sense that the city got bigger and there's more to do, but also the story. It's like a movie, right? So high quality production, voice acting, just all around beautiful.
Yeah, it was incredible. I was really impressed with how they handled the story, the writing in it, all the production of it. If you played GTA 3, you can kind of see the transition. They went from your main character didn't even speak a line, it was kind of just enough story and cutscenes to tie the missions together.
Even that though, at the time, wow.
Oh,
Open
yeah.
world, damn.
I remember, how old was I when that came out? That was an incredible game. And I played the heck out of that when it was new.
Yeah. Vice City, then I went, oh, damn, this is even better.
Yeah. And then San Andreas blew my mind.
Oh, you could do everything.
Yeah.
Even just go to a, burger shop, eat too much, and then just vomit on the floor.
Yeah, I remember... everybody, when you're playing the first time, you wanted to make your guy strong and run fast, and, so you're always working out at the gym and doing a lot of running. And then I played it again. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to make my guy just this fatty, eats burgers until he throws up every time, and then, just like barely walks to get into a car.
Yeah. I recently found this piece of paper I printed out. Was it 9 years ago or whatever? And I looked at it and I remember this. It's just a bunch of codes, and then realized, wow, these are San Andreas cheat sheets, cheat codes. So whoa, so much nostalgia. Oh.
Yeah, what was it? Did that one have the code where it was basically made every person on the street hostile towards you? So
I just had this two-sided page, piece of paper just printed with a ton of codes. It had like. Spawn a Harrier jet.
Oh yeah.
Everyone has a gimp suit or whatnot. I just
run around whacking people with the purple dildo.
Well, my favorite was the a power punch? You punch someone and they just fly off. Yeah, GTA San Andreas is probably still my favorite just because of how much, how well I remember the game.
Yeah, it was just it was the first one to really introduce the the concept of three cities and all the interconnections and just the everything else you could do. It just added the whole element of crazy, and all the different things you could do. I mean, I play through games like that again, and I'll find something new every time that, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could do that, or that's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, was it 10 years, 11 years now? I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about 11 years.
Time passes. Right. Yeah. So also playing City Skylines, you said.
Yeah,
That's
go ahead.
beautiful. The new update.
Yeah, added the wall-to-wall buildings, which I really like, but I wish that they would have made that like a policy change. So where you could say, okay, I want this district to be like, wall-to-wall buildings, like street front shops and lofts and row houses. 'Cause I feel like one of the problems with the game, the wall-to-wall buildings and the new features in the update really helped. But I feel like one thing is all my neighborhoods tend to look the same.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's, hey,
No,
I zone it
I
low.
understand what you mean, because there's very few building designs as well.
Yeah, so it's like I feel like you either have a very suburban neighborhood of single family homes, and then the next jump is 40-story sky rises, and now the wall to wall buildings kind of add some more variety to that, but I feel like there could be some more in between zoning. And I was kind of hoping that the wall to wall buildings would fill that gap.
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean. What I personally loved, and I think it's the best update yet, is because they added tunnels.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my large city is relatively flat. So without just kind of intentionally building a tunnel to say, hey, we built a tunnel, there's nowhere that's really optimal to place one yet. I haven't had much success with it.
Right, you can just go underground for no reason. I mean, it doesn't have to be through a mountain.
Yeah, so I need to. I haven't played with it more. I was trying to kind of make everything flow more organically.
Yeah, no, I had the spaghetti of a rail network. I don't even know how I created it. It's just rail track of a rail track of a rail track. I should probably post a screenshot in the show notes.
Yeah,
but yeah. Now it's everything. I mean, it's the same mess, but it's now on the ground. You can't see it.
I've got some highway networks that are a little similar to that, where it's five-way interchange with an exit to an avenue, and I sit there and look at it again like, oh my gosh, how did I even route some of these ramps? And it's just a nightmare. I can't imagine being a real person trying to drive on it.
And well, we mentioned this in episode 2, I think. It's no matter how crazy your streets are, the AI will still know how to use it.
Yeah,
it blows my mind.
The one thing that they don't know how to do is merge lanes, which they feels a little unrealistic. Hey, here's the 6-lane highway, and everybody needs off here, so here's 7 miles of backed up left lane when they all try to exit the same way.
Yeah, well, but I mean that is fairly annoying. Just unnecessary queues everywhere. But
yeah, it's not necessarily related to the latest update, but I know City Skylines has been out for a few months now. How do you feel it stacked up against SimCity 5? The latest SimCity, I guess, not really 5. But.
I haven't really played much of that, but I just remember it being very, your cities weren't that big, the traffic wasn't that big a deal. It just didn't feel like it evolved enough from the older ones, if you know what I mean.
Yo, definitely. Yeah, because I played, I don't even know how many hundreds of hours I played SimCity 4.
Yeah.
And, when the latest one came out, I bought it the day it was out, which I now regret. But it barely skimmed the surface of what SimCity 4 had to offer as far as depth and realism. And then the city sizes were ridiculously small. You take basically what your intro size is for City Skylines, and that's your entire city for SimCity 5. And it was just completely disappointing.
Yeah, so that's mainly the reason I stayed away. I mean, as a new game, I would expect you to be bigger and bolder and offer more, but they did nothing like that. City Skylines, on the other hand, it's something completely fresh.
Oh yeah, it is a breath of fresh air in the city building, city sim genre. That's I feel like has been pretty dried up for probably a decade.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm glad we have new devs coming in. As
Oh,
sad
yeah.
as it is, as that Maxis is gone and shut down, I'm still glad they decided to do something like this.
Yeah, I'm very glad because I was really craving a good city game, and City Skylines really fills that gap.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, especially the updated. I've been playing it a bit more recently since the update. And I've been
Mhm.
upgrading my city and everything. It just they said that they will be continuing to add, updates like this for free,
Yeah,
and I think that's
What-
great.
that's
Unlike EA, you don't have those corporate idiots,
yeah.
choking the devs.
Well, that's incredible. I wish more devs kind of followed that same track as just everybody right now, especially the big developers, EA and Ubisoft and all of them. They want to sell you the game and then milk you for every dollar you have afterwards. And it's purely a shareholder market share corporate business practice. Which I mean, obviously their business is out to make money, but
Of
you know
course, yeah.
these smaller developers step in and they can really succeed when they treat their customers the way like they have done with City Skylines is, hey, we're going to put this out, allow you to mod it, encourage you to mod it. From day one you could write and post mods, um, and support you with all kinds of free content updates along the way. And that's just incredible. I cannot think of the last time a developer's had that kind of
Yeah,
support
yeah.
and ongoing support for a game.
And also, if you remember, the launch price of City Skylines was completely reasonable.
Oh yeah, $30. I mean, I don't know what was it in your currency.
In British pounds, it was about £20.
Okay.
£22, somewhere around that. But for a new game, that's perfect.
Oh yeah,
I,
I,
I'm
I don't
I'm
buy
very
very many
glad.
new. Yeah, I don't buy very many games the day they come out. It's just they aren't worth $60, and especially with the market the way we have now, in a month they'll be at least half price. For the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, also they gave it to YouTubers and reviewers about a week beforehand.
Hmm.
So I mean that shows that they weren't hiding anything. They were happy about what they produced, right?
Oh
So they
yeah,
weren't trying to control the reviews scores, etc.
yeah. I get worried when there's a big review embargo until the day a game is released. I mean, they obviously don't want you to see
Yeah.
it until it's come out.
I mean,
Take
they
advantage
they
of all
have
the
done
pre-orders.
everything right when it comes to publishing.
Yeah, I will definitely continue to support them.
Yeah, yeah. It's got a special place in my heart now, and
Hmm.
also the
Yeah.
developers, similar to CG Projekt is in some regards. I mean, they're not the best people, but they understand what people want. Like DRM free stuff, etc.
Oh yeah.
Free updates. Yeah. Well, yeah. So you also played Prison Architect, early
Yeah,
access game.
I've only put a few hours into it so far. I mean, basically the tutorial and kind of attempted to start my own prison afterwards. But I'd been watching it for a while and saw it go on sale for I think it was $7.99, and it also came with like DEF CON and I think it came with Insurgency as well,
Yeah.
which both had some pretty decent reviews. So I figured why not, but it's been fun. And I love obviously I love any game where I can build things and control things. As we've been talking about with City Skylines. I think it's just kind of a great take on. It's a different view on building something. I don't recall of any other kind of tycoon builder style game where you build a prison.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a complete new group of assets to manage. I mean, it's things that you don't think about. Well, you aren't just building a hotel. It's not Sim Tower. You're not just building offices and hotels and condos. You're building prison cells and execution chambers and managing all of that, and the power and guards, and controlling the smuggling within the facility. All that. It's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, no, similar to City Skylines. I mean, similar things exist, but this is something completely fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And well, how did you find the tutorial? Wasn't it? Oh, it was quite sad.
Yeah.
It was emotional,
Yeah.
actually.
You follow I can't remember the character's name. Watch him find his wife in bed with someone else and kill them, and then you have to now electrocute him.
the way it was, the story was delivered. I mean, there's no story to the game. It's just in the tutorial for those listening. But that intro bit was probably one of the saddest things I've ever played. The way it was delivered with the pasta and everything.
It really surprised me because I expected it just to dump you in and say, here's 10 screens that show you all the shortcuts and keyboard commands and have fun. And then it kind of tossed that story element into it. And it really really struck me.
Yeah, it raises emotional, philosophical questions as well. Should the prison system kill people?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we don't in Europe, but that's probably your problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a great debated topic over here. Some states allow it, some states don't. Some states are outlawing it, and other states are now allowing it again. They had outlawed it and decided to bring back executions, but
right.
Without, I don't want to get too political, but just even if you are on death row, most likely you'll end up serving out your life sentence before you're executed. We don't really execute that many people.
Right. Well, I'm not sure how it works, but at school, that was quite a while back, I just remember people campaigning against that on behalf of, was it Amnesty International and whatnot?
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk about it, but then I thought, well, it doesn't help if you talk about it in Europe, if, since no one gets killed here. I mean, how about you go to the States and campaign there, or Saudi Arabia, or China?
Right. Go somewhere that actually has this problem. I mean, even if you go to, I don't know what state has our largest, death row rate, but
Utah.
By the time you go through, say they're convicted and sentenced to death, and then there's probably 25 years of legal appeals and all that. I mean,
oh, that's terrible.
It's pointless. Oh, I know, it's pointless. It's not like, oh, they sentence you and then they take you out back and hang you the same day.
Yeah, I think that's probably the worst part. It's it's coming, but it isn't for a while.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we kind of got off on a little tangent there.
Yeah, I'm upset now. So Prison Architect is one of those examples that are early access games done right as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good game right now, but it's still getting much better with time.
Yeah, I feel like early access models models and developers could really follow that structure. So right now I feel like we have some kind of cash grab early access, where it's, hey, I'm going to write this game. I have just enough code and graphics tossed together to have a running engine that you can play for about 5 minutes. So give me $30 so I can continue to play it or continue to develop it. And then they just kind of fall off the face of the earth and there's nothing ever again.
Yeah. No, personally, I bought it during a Humble bundle, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was part of it, but I own it. I played through the tutorial and about 2-3 hours, and I'm not going to touch it until it's released, because by then I'll probably get bored otherwise.
Yeah, I feel like for an early access game, it felt really polished, and it has a lot of content. And I feel like I kind of wonder at what point, obviously it has to do with the developers, artistic vision or what their goals are for it, but I feel like there's some games out there where it's like, at what point does it go from early access to a released game? Like Kerbal Space Program, I've actually never played it, but it's one of those where I'm waiting for a good sale or whatever. I didn't want to buy it while it was in early access, but I felt like it was out for a long time in early access with a lot of support and a lot of buyers, and it's like it probably could have been released as a full game 2 years ago instead of 2 months ago.
Yeah, my friend's been playing it for ages. I think the sales statistics prove that once the game launches, so like Kerbal Space Program, it doesn't really affect the sales.
Yeah.
In the sense that everyone doesn't go out to buy it because it has been out for a while.
Right. Well, and it's not like it's not on a retail sales model. It's not like, oh, we're fully released now, you can go buy us at any local game shop in town. It's still an online only purchase.
Exactly.
So it's just like changing the status. Hey, we went from early access to release. Okay, whoop-de-doo, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, I guess. Yeah, Prison Architect. Yeah, it's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Good game. So I've been playing a lot of Deus Ex Human Revolution, the director's cut.
Yeah.
I am
I've
in love. Yeah, you were saying?
I've never played I've never played Human Revolution. I played the first Deus Ex, and what was one of the sequels? Invisible War came out
I
as
think
probably 10 years
so.
old.
I'm
Uh,
actually I actually went in to this completely blind. Um, I didn't
really?
know anything about any previous games or anything. I just threw myself in. Uh, yeah, it was one of the Humble Bundle keys. I traded some Humble Bundle keys for this Humble Bundle key, and yeah, I just started playing it. For some reason, I had this weird itch telling me to play this game. It happens to me a lot. It's like Game Dev Tycoon.
Yeah.
So I just for some reason I wake up and go, I should really play this game, and I'm in love. It's everything about it. The music, it's perfect. The design, I mean, even the simple elements of the ceiling, those are
Oh yeah.
completely just it's so
The
well made.
the cyberpunk world, and just the how everything is designed and handled, the story behind it, and then just I love that kind of environment, getting into the cyberpunk kind of themes. And the first
Yeah,
game was incredible, and that was a relatively old game now. Um, but yeah, Human Revolution, I actually have it in my backlog on Steam, and it's installed on my machine actually right now.
oh,
I
go
just
play it. Go
Yeah,
play
I
it.
need to.
Yeah.
So I'm you know I'm 30 with family and all that, and I just don't get as much time to play
Well,
games as I used to.
no, I understand, but yeah, well, it goes for everyone. I mean, it's when a game goes on sale for what £1-2. That's about $2-3. There's it's hard to not buy it, right?
Oh
Uh,
yeah, you can't afford not to buy it almost.
exactly. I mean, even if you don't play it, you just go, "Oh no, I just spent $2 on it." Or if it's a
Yeah,
bad game, oh no, I just spent.
I think I got it for $2 on a summer sale 2 years ago, and I kept telling
Yeah.
myself I'd play it, and then I would buy something else on the summer sale that would, get me sucked in even more.
Hashtag PC Master Race problems.
Yeah, that's a problem I'd rather have instead of $60 one game on a console, and I can't play anything else after this.
Yeah,
Or the next console came out and now I can't play it because it's not backwards compatible.
everything is so expensive on I don't even know how. It's like, oh, consoles are cheap. Well, you're gonna spend more on games than I ever will.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
and online
ridiculous.
fees and you know extra attachments and anything
Yeah,
else that goes along the way.
yeah,
TV. I think a lot of them don't factor in a TV. I mean, when I started building PCs, you know, I
yeah,
I didn't have a TV. It was either build a PC and buy a monitor, or buy a buy a PlayStation and a TV, and it was came out to be about the same price. So of course I built a PC.
yeah. Well, we are a PC podcast, so we're gonna praise it. If you
Oh,
don't
oh
like this,
definitely.
yeah, you can stop listening.
If you're here for Xbox One content, please sign off.
Seriously, go
No, I
away.
don't.
I'm gonna insult you. No. I don't know. I've been out of the whole console thing. I had a PS3 for a while. I got it in 2011, I think, or
Mhm.
12. But that was just for Little Big Planet, and I got it really, really, really cheap.
Yeah,
Um,
I have a PS3 that I purchased cheap as well, and I mostly got it for Little Big Planet, Gran Turismo, and a couple. Um, why am I blanking out on this? Solid Snake, Metal Gear.
oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
I don't know why I blanked out on that. And then Ni no Kuni and a couple other JRPGs, and they're still sitting on my shelf. I haven't hardly played any of them. My PS3 makes a
yeah.
great Blu-ray player and Netflix machine, and that's about it.
That was actually the reason I bought it. We needed a DVD player. So
Yeah.
was used.
Yeah.
So
At the time, it was cheaper than any Blu-ray player on the market, so it's like, well, why not get a PS3 that can do those and play games that I'm
yeah,
somewhat interested in, and it has had so little playtime. I'd hate to even consider it a console in my house. It's just the Blu-ray player.
yeah. You should just call it media
Yeah,
center.
but it's great because I now have controllers that I can use on my PCs.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's why I'm kind of happy I got it. Yeah, just a few games I play with controllers, and I just have it. Then again, with PC, you can choose what controller you want.
Exactly. Yeah, I have PS3 controllers, Xbox controllers. They all sit around until I need some local multiplayer.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, we were talking about Deus Ex.
Yes. Yeah.
I
We
think.
got a
Yeah.
little sidetracked there.
Yeah. So I'm about 6 hours in. So far from doing every side quest and so on, and I'm not a huge fan of RPGs. I actually don't really like them. But it's got me hooked, right? And now I'm in the second hub, the city, right? And oh god, the design is beautiful. It's in I think I can spoil this. It's not really a spoiler. So it's Shanghai, and wow, I think that's my favorite futuristic city design ever. It's not just, you know how you see images of, oh, imagine this Paris in 2245, and then it's just crazy towers. But this isn't just looking at a picture; it's living it. You go through the alleys, and there's people everywhere talking, and oh, yeah, it's just so
I think
well made.
I definitely need to play this now.
Yeah, well, you should. I mean, it's in your library, so you might as well.
I have no excuse not to.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, today in the morning I woke up and went, "Oh, I really want to play this." And it doesn't really happen to me often. And at the moment, I feel spoiled with GTA 5, City Skylines, playing Game Dev Tycoon, and this, like all 4 good games
Yeah.
so quickly in succession. I hope this doesn't.
How is Game Dev Tycoon?
I love it. It's based from the Game Dev Story. Was a phone game. It's on Android.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by Kairosoft. I think we discussed it on the podcast.
Yeah, I believe you did.
Yeah, and Game Dev Story is Game Dev Tycoon is like a more fleshed out version of that. You can do much more, and it gets you really addicted to it as well.
Awesome. That's another on my list to purchase.
Yeah, it's also that, oh yeah, I'm a game dev, and oh, I need to make this game with this characteristics, so people buy it and whatnot. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Is there anything you're looking forward to coming out this year?
I got a very cheap, those graphics card codes.
Mm-hmm.
You like The Witcher 3 and Arkham Knight right now. I got Arkham Knight for really cheap from a friend, like $10.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He didn't need it, so I just said, "Yeah, take my money." And I don't know. I hope it's not Warner Brothers screwing it up this time.
I hope not. I haven't gotten to play. I think I played a demo of Arkham Asylum, and it's not a series that I've had time to dive into. It looks awesome.
Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, one of my favorite games ever made, especially City. The developers are cool, but Warner Brothers recently has been a bit of a bad kid.
Yeah, I think they're suffering from the large corporate developer syndrome.
Yeah. Poor guys. They need to see someone professional. But Mortal Kombat X wasn't working at launch. Has ridiculous in-game purchases and
is it microtransactions and a bunch of...
Yeah, and that's for fatalities.
Oh gosh. What?
Yeah.
What were they thinking? That's ridiculous.
But the worst part is, online multiplayer wasn't working for a while. People couldn't really launch it for. They were trying this download while you play, kind of thing. If you.
Oh, I've never had good luck with that.
Yeah, and they tried that over Steam. Steam doesn't really support that, and they were trying it through the DLC system through Steam or something. I don't know, but Warner Brothers recently hasn't been, well, they're trying to milk their games as well now.
I hope that the entire microtransaction, practice just kind of disappears here, or at least outside of the mobile market. The mobile market, it's not going anywhere, but in PC gaming, it just doesn't belong.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think it's fine in the mobile market. You don't really care. Oh,
Yeah,
this game called Candy Crush. I'm not gonna play it, but
Oh yeah. Well, especially when it's a free game and then it's this microtransaction stuff here and there, especially on a game that, some of those games on mobile market, they really just appeal to people who have, gambling addictions. Oh
yeah,
hey, something shiny popped up when I did this. I need to buy more of these.
it's that is quite exploitative. But
Yeah.
thing is, I don't. I used to play a bit on my phone a lot, but that was over 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
with my mother's phone, Nokia, those Snake games. Do you remember Snake?
Oh yeah, I remember
That was
Snake.
what I played. Good times. No in-app
Oh.
purchases on that.
Yeah, on the little dot matrix screen phones.
Yeah. Oh, when those came out, magical, because they used to be bloody huge.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
I remember phones were huge, then they got tiny. My first cell phone was a little Nokia that was the smallest one on the market. It was this itty bitty little brick of a phone. And then now I can't, every smartphone on the market has like at least a 5-inch screen. They're getting huge again. I was looking at phones the other day, and I couldn't fit the new. I've got an LG G2, and then like I looked at the LG G3, which is like the same size as a Note. I couldn't even fit that in my pocket.
oh wow, I've got the Sony Xperia Z2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's also pretty huge. I like it. It's a good phone. It's a good phone. Well, it does everything I need to, and yeah, I'm just the kind of person who uses a lot of online services and so on a lot.
Yep, I've been using more and more, especially I check email with work and then Twitter and all the things like that.
Yeah,
But it's good to have a good phone.
yeah.
Have you seen any of the specs for new AMD cards come out? Or I don't know if they're the real specs, but the rumored specs.
Ooh, is that the 300 series?
Yes, the 300 series, like the 390X.
No, I heard that they might release it in June.
Yeah, I heard they might release it, and then I saw, was it the 390X will be something about $800, 800
Ooh.
American dollars.
Oh right, yeah, that's the top tier card, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the top tier card. It's supposed to compete with the Titan, but I don't have a source on it. I think it was just from a rumor mill site, but supposedly it still only has 4 gigs of VRAM.
Right.
Which, okay, if I'm going to spend $800 for a video card, then I'll just,
That's-
if I have that much money sitting around just for my card, then I'm going to spend the extra $200 to get a Titan and have that much more VRAM.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna have a lot of luck. If right now Nvidia AMD cards, they are quite loud and produce a lot of heat.
Right. Well, when they're a little power hungry, they they have quite high power requirements.
And I think that's putting a lot of people off. And now recently you have the driver issues.
Mm-hmm.
In general, they're not just as good as Nvidia. AMD's blaming Nvidia's GameWorks, for sabotaging Witcher 3 performance.
Right, which I
Nvidia
feel
runs.
there's probably
Go ahead.
there's probably a little bit of justified, hey, GameWorks is kind of screwing screwing AMD over, but at the same time,
Yeah, you didn't do anything to
yeah,
fix that.
AMD did nothing. They didn't update their drivers. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm completely against the notion that you can produce your own thing, like PhysX.
Yeah.
But this is like a more ingrained in the game. If you have PhysX,
Right,
you can just turn it off, or if you have Tress effects on AMD, you can just turn it off, right?
Yeah.
You don't have fancy hair.
Yeah, G-Sync, you have to have a G-Sync monitor, all the proprietary stuff so far has been optional, but once it gets
Exactly,
kind of the
but
game,
when it's like this, I think that's where I would say don't do this, please.
yeah.
I mean,
Which I'm not a programmer. I don't know I don't know how much truth there is into like the GameWorks optimization, because it even seems like it screws over Nvidia cards. Like was it Project Cars ran better on a 960 than it did on a 780 Ti?
Probably, yeah. That's been talked about recently.
Which that just seems ridiculous to me.
Mm.
But I can't imagine that GameWorks would. I mean, on one hand, I can see where GameWorks would, maybe Nvidia is using GameWorks to work kind of like Apple's market, where, oh, hey, the new iPhone came out, let's update the OS so it makes the old iPhone run like crap, and you'll really want to go buy a new one.
I really hate that. For example, Shadowplay, right?
Yeah.
Where you can record stuff. It doesn't work with cards before the 600 ones. I mean,
right.
It's partly because of encoding stuff on the card, but it's also that they kind of slowly don't care about those cards and they don't do anything to help. I mean,
Right.
Shadowplay doesn't work at all with 500 series cards. There's a bunch of other stuff, I think. But
Yeah, I can't remember. I knew there was a bunch of new features on the 600 series,
Yeah,
and it's been way too long for me to remember what that all entailed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I used to have a 560. That was until November, and I got annoyed about these new drivers, constant updates, but then wouldn't really affect me, right?
Yeah.
They would say, "Oh, download this new driver for the new 970 and 980," and I said, "Why are you giving me those updates? I don't need them." Oh yeah, I've got a 970 now with
Yeah,
3.5 gigs of RAM.
Oh yeah, that extra 500 meg that hangs out there.
Screw you,
Yeah.
Nvidia. I'm going in
Yeah.
AMD next.
Yeah, I got on the bandwagon with the 970 as well. It was just
It's a great card though. It's really good.
I went from a 660 to the 970, and the 660 still chugged along. With most games, it could run on medium to high settings. It wasn't a bad card.
Better than a 560, I bet.
Yeah, but the 970 just I happened to catch one that was an open box special at Micro Center in October of last year. Pretty soon after they'd come out.
Micro Center, is that like a PC stop there?
Yeah, it's
shop there.
Yeah, it's like a big. I don't know if you like Best Buy, or I don't know what your equivalent would be to like a large electronics.
Best Buy.
retail
Yeah,
store.
I've heard of Best Buy.
Say it's like Best Buy, but pretty much just for PC and PC components.
Oh,
So like
in the
you
UK
can
there
go
aren't any of those.
yeah, so I can
Stupid.
go there, and they've got a whole display case just of CPUs and a whole wall. Here's this aisle, it's just motherboards. Here's this aisle, it's just video cards. Here's this aisle, it's RAM and hard drives.
Sounds like heaven.
I restrict how often I go there because it's about 5 minutes from my house, and I tend to not leave without spending at least $100.
Yeah,
I try to limit how often I walk in there.
yeah, absolutely.
But they had the Asus Strix 970. Somebody had bought it the day before, and then they got a shipment of the gigabyte cards in, and that was what that person really wanted. So they returned the Asus card. So I was able to get it for it was $280, which at the time they were going for about 350 American dollars.
Oh, that's great.
So I got it for so I got it for 70 off, and it was the first day of the Far Cry 4 code. So I got Far Cry 4 for free with it as well.
Did you play that?
I just couldn't resist.
Sorry, did you play Far Cry?
I played Far Cry 3 a few times. I've put about 10 or 15 hours into 4, and it's almost like I have to force myself to play it. I just don't enjoy it nearly as much.
Right. I haven't played it, but it seems too samey.
Yeah, did you play 3?
Yeah. I played 3.
It's the engine is very similar. I mean, obviously the biggest change is the setting. It's in in the Himalayas rather than in a jungle island kind of setting. But I felt like some of the story and stuff was just too. I couldn't get into the story. I couldn't get into the villain. I couldn't get into like in Far Cry 3 you had your different enemy types. There was your typical your gunner guy, and then like your heavy armor guy, and
yes,
they weren't that dissimilar. Or in 4 it's like, okay, here's this one enemy, the hunter type, and it's like this guy that can summon animals to come attack you and can basically see through any stealth activity. And it's just I was a master of stealth in Far Cry 3. I could take take a checkpoint without ever being seen or detected. And then 4, like I can't even take like the beginner ones without being seen a mile away because of these frickin' hunter guys. Like I don't know why they kick my ass every time.
I hate those games. You're not supposed to see me. I was behind a brick wall.
Right, yeah, I am down the hill behind a tree. Like there is no physical way that you could see me without.
And then they go, "Hey,
overhead.
you stop! Put your weapon down!
Get him! Ah!" So beyond that, it was fun, but yeah, it was just more of the same. Hey, climb a tower to get the checkpoint and uncover more of the map, like in every other Ubisoft game in the world.
Yeah, Far Cry 3, I disliked climbing towers. Especially because sometimes, it wasn't obvious where to climb up. And then when you did climb up, it was kind of slippery. For some reason, you would just slip off and then you get on the floor, you don't die, and then you have to climb up again after almost reaching the top. But
the saving grace to Far Cry 4 was that it had like a gyrocopter that you could fly, like a little helicopter.
Yeah.
So if you were good at it, you could just fly to every tower and land on the top of it, or almost at the top level, depending on how the tower was laid out, and then just discover the area, then go get back in your thing and fly to the next one. So I played for like 2 hours one night and uncovered 90% of the map.
Yeah, well, that's good. Far Cry 3, it felt for about the first 4 or 5 hours, I went like, this could be a really good game, and then it slowly went downhill. It just didn't offer much story, especially the story. I got really upset that nothing led anywhere, nothing really happens.
Yeah, I felt like the main character was a little whiny. I can't remember the character's name. His friends were really whiny.
Yeah, exactly. Jason, I love you. And then I go, no, I have to kill people to save my other friend, maybe.
Yeah, and for some reason they're trying to bring me into their tribe, and I won't
and I'm
spoil
saying
it for anybody who hasn't played it. But.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, Far Cry 3, I kind of liked it, but then it just went downhill. I think the most fun bits were, for me, was just picking up herbs and then going, oh damn, there's a tiger! I would just scream about. For some reason in games I just get scared easily.
Yeah. Oh, here, let me pick these flowers, and oh my god, there's a tiger in the trees right there.
Same with there's a bear. There was a bear in one of those caves, if you might remember. What?
Oh yeah.
So a bear jumps out. I just go, wait, what's this? I turn around. There's a massive bear running towards me. I go, instinct, from instinct, I'm trying to shoot the bear. For some reason, I'm throwing a pack of C4, and then the bear just dies. It didn't even explode. It just hits the head and just went, so, what?
You knocked it in the head with your C4.
I wish I had Shadowplay on at the time. Oh, just, wait, how did he die? That was probably the most fun bit, and that was it.
Yeah, I just got to the point where I enjoyed driving around and killing people in obscene ways.
Yeah, burning people with Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, I did love taking a Molotov cocktail or a flamethrower and lighting an entire field on fire, trying to kill 2 guys.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. How the fire spreads.
I think that was probably my favorite part of the game, was like their fire and environment management. Like it wasn't a truly destructible environment like some games have, but can you imagine if they would have had, what was it, like the Havoc engine?
Oh yeah. Imagine Red Faction Guerrilla meets Far Cry 3.
Oh yeah, that would have been incredible, because they managed the fire mechanic really well, and then just the way that played into missions, where you're burning the marijuana fields while listening to reggae music.
Oh,
everyone's running around on fire.
That's a memorable moment for me.
Just going. That was probably my top moment out of any game that year.
Dun da da dun da da dun, and then just with a flamethrower, just dun da da dun da da. And then the character in the game as well. I love this.
Oh,
That
no.
was that was I don't know. I think like it has good bits, but I mean in terms of story and everything, it didn't do much. And it seems to me, and from all the reviews and people telling me, it's Far Cry 4 is also hasn't done anything with the story, with the potential of being a really good survival game. It doesn't do anything with those.
Yeah.
So guns are easy to acquire, and so on.
Yeah, after you've unlocked a few towers, you pretty much have unlocked most of the free weapons, and then money. I felt like in Far Cry 4, money was so easy to come by, especially if you've upgraded your wallet. Like, I had the max wallet and as much cash as I could carry, after just doing a few missions.
Yeah,
And it was just ridiculous. Like, there was no challenge. I could buy any gun I wanted, I could do whatever I wanted, and it's like I had nothing to attain.
exactly. It seems like it's worse than Far Cry 3 in that sense.
Right. So it just kind of died out for me. It had some cool parts, like, but there were also things I didn't understand. It was like, oh, here's like world missions. Okay, here comes this armored convoy or whatever. It didn't really explain what it was. It was something that the opposing faction was, running this convoy around. Well, they just drove in a little circle around the map, and if you knew where they all were, you could stand in one spot, like on a hilltop, and watch them the whole way, and just like snipe them off as they just continue to drive in a circle.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like they'd be like, "Oh, he's out there. Let's just keep driving in the same circle." Okay. Oh, I got another one. Oh, let's just keep driving in the same circle.
And they just go, we know he's
Yeah.
here. We can hear you.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, it
well,
was almost
yeah.
it was almost as laughable as the stealth in Skyrim. Someone must be there. The guy I just got shot with an arrow. Oh, must be the wind.
Yeah, I think that's the most funny bit. Just them screaming, going, "What's happening?" And then putting no effort whatsoever and trying to, solve the issue.
Bunch of cowards.
Yeah, no, I just hate it when games have this amazing potential but do nothing with it. It's sad more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Far Cry 3 for me could have been amazing. It was good, but it could have been amazing. One of the top games I've ever played, but it didn't do enough. Same with Far Cry
Yeah.
4. It's the same, just worse story apparently. I mean, interesting
Yeah.
character, the antagonist or whoever it is, didn't do much with it. It's just,
And yeah, in Far Cry 3, I really liked Voss, the first antagonist.
yeah,
But then, like, after he was gone, like, the second part of the story, it was just kind of like, oh, well, this just felt, I don't know.
yeah. I mean,
It didn't have the same drive.
he wasn't even meant to be a character. They just went, this. That was apparently during a voice acting session. He was trying out this character, and he came across as crazy and something. The actor did it himself, and then they put that character in afterwards, I think. So it does in the game. You kind of realize, wait, that was it.
Yeah.
And then, well, we can't spoil it, but it does feel forced, and it is, yeah.
Yeah, it was a little forced. Kind of on the note of potential and things like that. Where do you think Star Citizen will go? I feel like that game has been hyped up. I mean, obviously it looks really cool. They're doing a lot with it. The space sim genre has really come back with Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen with its huge Kickstarter, and I feel like they keep saying all these promises. Oh, well, there'll be space flight and combat and exploration. Oh, and planet-side landing and combat and, first-person action and economy and all these kind of things. And, oh, you can play it in 8K resolution. And, oh, you can do all this stuff. And it's like, okay, well, we've still basically seen, like, what's equivalent to some tech demos. So,
I mean,
what's actually going to happen with was it $73 million or whatever they've been raised on Kickstarter so far?
it has the potential of becoming what probably is, what I've always dreamt of a game to be, a space game to be.
Mm-hmm.
As in flying around, economy, and all that, all that you mentioned. And just, if that all, comes together properly, it could be amazing. And
Yeah.
I hope it is.
Right.
Did you know they just reached the $83 million mark?
83 million. Golly.
People are buying the ships without, there's no game behind it really. They're still spending hundreds of pounds on games. It's ridiculous.
Right. Well, I mean, like, I felt like, backing Elite Dangerous. Okay, you bought the certain ship package, and then, that way when the game came out, you would start with that ship, or, you'd have easy access to it or whatever.
Yeah.
But they at least had an early access model, like you could get in and play. Whereas with Star Citizen, I feel like there's not enough to buy. Like, I can't remember, what's one of the cheapest ship packages on Star Citizen? Like $125 or something right now? I mean, it's pretty expensive to get into.
Yeah, it is. I don't I'm not sure about current ones, but probably about. I think for a while you could get it about for $20. I actually don't remember. I shouldn't say it. Here, $50 on the website, I think.
Yeah, I need to look. I have not backed it or followed it or anything because it's one of those things where I'm just afraid it won't live up to the hype and the promises.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing you should buy when it's all done and polished and ready for to be seen. It's gonna be free to play, isn't it? So.
Oh, really?
I think so. If I remember correctly.
I need to catch up on the news on it again then.
I think you should probably just wait until it's released, and then, you will know when it's released, because everyone will be talking about it.
Oh, yeah, it'll be everywhere.
Yeah, you can just go.
So
you wake up one morning, it's out! You go sit on your PC, turn on the beauty, and then go, wow, this is a 100 gigabyte game I'm downloading right now. Yeah, right now it's about 100 gigs, I think. They said something.
Wow.
Uncompressed.
I need more hard drives. GTA was huge. Everything keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Right.
I don't know what my ESO installs up to. It's pretty large, I believe.
Yeah, GTA 5 though, those textures, man.
Oh yeah. Just like I couldn't believe the difference between like the normal, quote unquote normal level textures and then the high level textures. Like normal was, hey, here's this blurry, 8x8 bitmap that you can't recognize at all. Then high level was this ultra high quality, extra sharp texturing.
Yeah.
I felt like there was a huge difference in between.
Yeah, my mind is still blown about how good it looks on PC. I mean, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember people. I never played it on or saw anyone play it on console. Actually, none of my friends played it, I think. But when you see images, it was just like some 1080p screenshot, downscaled, and then a lot, and then everything looks washy.
Yeah, I mean, as far as on console, it looked good, but it was limited to 720p at 30 frames a second or whatever. Which I mean, that was for
wasn't there a lot of pop-in as well?
There was. I don't feel like it was as bad as games of that kind of scale could have been. Like on the PS3, I felt like it could have been so much worse. Like they did a huge good job with it. I mean, still nowhere nearly as good as the PC version, but as far as as for the day when it came out a couple of years ago on console, it looked really good, and the PC version just puts that to shame even worse.
Have you played The Witcher 3?
I have not.
Have you played any of the previous ones, or are you interested in it at all?
I played the first Witcher, and I've actually read some of the books.
Oh, right.
I haven't. The second Witcher, kind of common theme here is in my backlog. It was I think it was $1.99 on Steam.
I got it. I am about a few hours in, and then I'm right now. I have to wait for someone until the afternoon before I can talk to him. So I left the town. I open the door, go through the gate, and there's a massive snail/crab monster outside. I got scared and I ran off, and I never played it again. I was just
It looks good, and I'm trying to wrap my head around and figure out how quote unquote downgraded have the graphics really become.
Right.
Because I see the debate about the graphics all over the place, and then I see kind of complaints across all the systems as far as some bugs, and then
Yeah,
it
yeah.
sounds
It feels like
sounds like there's some issues.
yeah. I mean, I think it's mainly optimization. It's not even just
Right.
the fact that it's not as good looking as it was supposed to be on PC, but yeah, it doesn't run as well as you would expect it to. I think that's the
Yeah.
major complaint, and well,
Well,
it doesn't look as
I think
amazing.
I think I saw a similar setup to mine, like an i5 3570K with a 970. At
Yeah,
max settings was pulling between 30 and 45 frames per second, which, I mean, really, that seems it doesn't look good enough to demand that much of the settings. Like, yeah, it really is not optimized very well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's I think that's the worst part of it. It's not just that it looks worse, but it runs badly.
Yeah.
And I'm quite disappointed because CG Project was meant to be the good guy, right?
Oh yeah.
On a PC. So that's a bit of a shame. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you like it in comparison to?
I haven't played
I'm
it.
trying to think what you'd compare it to.
Oh, so how do you mean?
I'm just trying to think. A lot of people try to compare it to Skyrim or something, but they're really not comparable games. The Witcher's not quite the same
Oh,
open world, open story.
Which it's no, I don't think it's comparable at all.
Yeah.
Quite different. Yeah, I wouldn't. Uh, yeah, I don't actually see any parallels between those games, apart from the fact that it's an RPG.
Yeah, that they're RPGs.
The RPG, yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoyed the first Witcher. I still haven't had a chance to play the second one. I mean, the first one it's kind of a different combat system. Um, the story fit well. I felt like I'd actually read some of the short stories by, I can't even pronounce his name, Andrzej Sapkowski,
Mm-hmm.
Polish. I'd kind of read those. I'd read some of those before the game came out, and I felt like it actually fit really well. They really captured the story and the environment. Who Geralt was, and kind of what the Witchers were about and everything.
Mm.
I felt like they fit that really well, and I loved all the things that were in addition to the story, the side quests, and bar fighting and playing. I can't remember what the dice game was called. Uh,
Not
I really liked that. I kind of hope that 2 and 3 capture the same
right.
essence. I need to play them.
Sure. Yeah. I know, everyone's so happy about it because it's a mature game. It's nothing feels forced when it comes to conversations. Everything seems genuine. Whatever you answer, there's no bad option. I hear that's they've got that spot on. As in, with BioWare games, you just go, this is the good option, but this is the bad option, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's more like you can choose what you want rather than what the game kind of wants you to do. Or
Okay. Yeah. There's no no Paragon or Renegade choice. It's
yeah,
a
I
little
mean
more
everything has
natural.
a was it consequence, but it's not really predictable. That's what I'm getting a lot from people telling me, and everyone's
That's
really
good.
happy. I'm not hearing much about, oh, the game isn't running well for me. Just now and then you read some comments on the internet, but everyone's really happy. And
Yeah, I was really surprised. Like the day it came out, I was because up until the days it came out, I felt like there was just all this backlash against it. Oh, cancel your pre-order. Oh, it's downgraded. Oh, it's gonna have all these issues.
yeah,
And then like on release day, I was looking on Reddit, and it was like, well, there's like no conversation about it. There's nobody praising it. There's nobody speaking badly about it. I mean, everybody was just playing it.
yeah, yeah,
So I think that probably speaks more to how good it potentially is than anything. Just because on release day, nobody even took the time to post anything about it. They actually just played it.
and another thing I hear, because everyone's just praising the game, like you said, not really criticizing it. It's
Hmm.
side missions feel like it's don't feel like side missions. They have their own story and so on, and that I find that quite interesting, quite cool.
Hmm.
So oh, do the side quest. It's not really a side quest. It's just your experience, right?
Right. I feel like a lot of games kind of, they either the side quests are just, they feel way too tacked on,
Mm.
or they take the JRPG approach and it's like, okay, yeah, it's these side quests, but if you don't do every single one of them, you are not going to level up high enough to take care of the main quest.
Yeah.
So having natural feeling side quests where it's just kind of, hey, I ran into this guy, he said he wants me to do this. Okay, well, whatever, it's on my way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's quite cool. I mean, even with Deus Ex Human Revolution, it's you can it's side missions are cool, but it's not really the same level when you think about it. A bit like tacked on. Um, yeah, it's like if you don't do them, you don't really miss out on too much. If you understand,
Yeah.
because there isn't
Yeah,
a
definitely.
huge experience, something unique to it at all. It's more like you do it, you don't do it, whatever. It's you're missing on some, some simple experience
Yeah,
rather than, oh, I met this guy. Oh, he does this for a living, and then he has done this, and there's a back history to it, and etc.
yeah, it's not super critical to the story or your character development, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
still have a story reward all on their own that's worth taking care of the quest for.
Although what Deus Ex Human Revolution does right, and I won't be able to stop talking about the game, is there's because you can hack into computers and so on, and there's you read random emails and then you just go, wow, that's really well written. So you just have random people you kind of meet throughout the game, and then you can hack their computer and look at what they've written, and they have their own history and etc. I think I like that about Deus Ex quite a lot as well.
I think I'm gonna have to start playing that tonight.
Yeah. I mean,
You
well, it's sitting in your library. Second.
Yeah, I'm staring at it right now. It's
Mm.
like I think I'm gonna be playing
It
that
is-
here in just a bit.
Once we finish recording, I'm gonna play. Or
Pretty much.
unless you have something to do today, you're probably gonna just stay in your room for ages, or wherever your PC
Yep.
is. You'll be stuck to
Yeah,
it.
that's I've got my little man cave, as you will, in the basement here.
Beautiful.
So
Bad.
it is a beautiful day here, though. It's the first sunshiny day we've had in a while, so I might need to take that excuse to be outside.
Hmm. Oh well, your PC will always be there, waiting for you,
It's not gonna walk away.
or it might, with augmented. No, it will. It will. Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes PC, it's gonna be there. Your little friend is always ready. All right. We hit the 1 hour mark. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like 20 minutes. It's great. Yeah.
It went by really quickly.
Yeah. No. It's good discussions going on here. High quality.
Mhm.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna wrap things up. So where can
Yeah.
You said you do Twitch, YouTube stuff, or anything, or you're planning to? If you
I'm
want to plug.
planning to. I've been Let me throw in a quick plug. There's no content on them yet. I've been working on my recording setup and everything, but I will be doing some streaming on Twitch. You can find me on there, Highoctanenerd. I'm going to be focusing on like some project cars and some racing kind of activities. We'll also be streaming. I've been trying to have a monthly LAN party. Where we play some older FPSs. Some Counter-Strike 1.6, some Unreal Tournament 2003, some Battlefield 1942.
Those are some
we-
good LAN games. Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Glorious.
at our last one we had Unreal Tournament 2003. We were playing Bombing Run tournament style until about 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'll have a camera. I'll have a stream of all the action there, like a audience view of the match, and a camera overlooking the room where we're all in. You can see all the action, all the jumping up and screaming and shouting.
Yeah, no, that's. I think
so-
the atmosphere of a LAN party is just something different.
You can play the same games online with each other, but you just cannot have that same degree of fun
Exactly right.
without sitting in the same room.
Unfortunately, I didn't really have much experience with LAN parties because not many friends played on PC. Those poor souls.
Yeah, so
so
I'm very
yeah.
very fortunate that some local guys here, and you can also check out the same Highoctanenerd on YouTube. There's gonna be some content loaded there. It's gonna start out with some less gaming related content and some more actual high octane type, car and vehicle content. Be pertaining to some electrical equipment and hooking your PC up to scan your car's OBD2 port and some items like that.
Of course. Any Twitter, Facebook, anything you want to share?
Yeah, Twitter, same name, Highoctanenerd. Be starting to post up on there soon. It's, as I said, the whole setup's just getting started here. So if you go there now,
just send me the links and so on. I'll put those in the
I'll send
notes.
you the links here for everything.
Right. Great.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
No worries. I would love to have you on again. You probably will be.
Yeah. Let me know. I would love to join.
So, as usual, the podcast comes out on Mondays. You can find us on soundcloud.com/Salimbo. There's a Twitter account that sporadically gets used. We are now on TuneIn, Stitcher, iTunes, and you can also subscribe directly through the RSS feed. And of course, go on the website for all the links and show notes, salimbo.me. All right, thank you very much for listening, and thank you so much for being here. Hi, Octane.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Sure. All right, thank you very much for listening. See you next time.